Hi all, this is Erica, aka ECR Horses 1901, and today we are going to do a haul video. I try to save these to just a few times per year, and I think that after Christmas is as good of a time as any to do one. So without any further ado, let's jump in. We'll start with the horses that I got for Christmas, although I will also include at the end some other horses that I bought before Christmas. I am also going to include, after I show you my most recent purchases or gifts, I do want to do a quick top 5 horses that I have purchased this year. First up, my in-laws bought me some nice regular runs. First, we have a lovely copy. Oh god, here we go again. Alright, okay, that didn't take too long to get right. So we have a lovely copy of Mech. This mold is such a shelf hog. I mean, he doesn't even fit on the filing cabinet that I have behind me that I like to put my new horses on. I actually have had him back there, but I have to have him turned at a very sharp angle so that he does in fact fit on there. The original on this mold of Altanai has always been a soft want of mine, but Mech also had caught my eye. So I definitely plan on adding this guy to my show string. Then I got my first actual Misty and Stormy set, because even though I have like 5,000 Stormies, this is my first copy of Misty as actual Misty. So I was really glad to get that set, and it also came with the book Misty of Chincoteague. I know I've mentioned in some of my past videos that, you know, I'm gonna go back and read like all the Marguerite Henry novels, and I'm only kind of kidding about that. And now I have copies of both Misty of Chincoteague and Stormy Misty's Foal, so I will be off to a good start. I also get a surprise gift, a mystery foal gift set, and it came with 3 very nice stablemates. We have this nice chestnut cantering warm blood mare, and a blanket Appaloosa on the Hanoverian mold. The foal ended up being a very cute chestnut with a blanket Appaloosa pattern, and I especially like his pearly mane and tail. This guy wants to be a show horse, so I need to decide on a really good breed for him. I struggle with the stablemate foals because I tend to have a hard time seeing them as any particular type. Like, not to get on a tangent, but I have one that seemed to me to be a great example of a Chincoteague foal, but he hasn't placed at all, not even once, under that designation, and under a few different judges. So I'm gonna try something different with that horse this year. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for him other than just Appaloosa, I would love to hear it. My husband got the wish list with the more challenging to find horses, but was able to get one of the sets that I requested. Now I'm gonna show you this pair, and if you've been watching my channel, you may be like, Erica, I thought we were done getting Spanish models. And that is true, but I never said anything about Spanish foals. Here we have the gorgeous Vintage Club set from 2022, Poppy and Ollie. Now, I hate to use an overused phrase from every fashion vlogger that I watch, but these two are so good. The gloss, the little details, like the hint of eye white on both of them, and you cannot see it, I don't think, but there's really lovely dapples on the mare. They are both great, and I look forward to showing them both. That was all for Christmas gifts this year, at least as far as horses go, but I had also made a few purchases before the holidays that I figured I would share as well. First up, we'll stick with Brier, and it is yet another mare and foal set. So this is Bridget and Beltane on the Welsh mare and foal molds. They were a Breyer Fest 2020 special run set at 1,800 pieces. Both, again, are pretty perfect. Not everything I have left to show you today is going to be, sadly. I have plans to show the foal with the breed choice already and everything, but I'm not actually sure about the mare yet. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a nice mold and a nice model, but I am not sure that I can picture her doing super well. Once again, feel free to prove me wrong in the comments if you have one that has done well for you, or if you have like a super unique breed that could be successful for her. because again, I would love to hear it. I don't have a ton of really good pony models at this point, so yeah, I am open to suggestions. Next up, we have a secondhand Peter Stone. This is the Tennessee walking horse mold, and he is a design-a-horse model, so the colorway, the white markings, and even the striping on his hooves were all selected by whoever originally ordered this piece. I only know he was made in 2014 because it says it on his belly, but otherwise, I do not know any other details about him. I first saw this guy on Facebook in one of the horse sales groups, and I really liked him enough to actually take a screenshot of him, but then I more or less forgot about him. It wasn't until I was going through my screenshots in my phone that I saw him again, and I was like, oh, I should see if he is still available. Completely expecting that he wouldn't be, because I think it had been almost a month since he had first been posted. Long story short, the person who originally had him for sale had indeed sold him, but she knew that the person who bought him was thinking about selling him. Sorry, this gets confusing. Not because there was anything wrong with him, but because she suddenly had a grail come up, and so she was trying to sell off some models, and she hadn't really had this one for long enough to grow attached to him. So the person who had originally been selling him put me in touch with this new person, and we were able to work things out very quickly. I got him for a very good price, and so here he is. The only thing that bugs me about this guy is that he does not stand. Or he will, but if anyone breathes too heavily or, forget gently nudging the table, that would be for sure a disaster. He's going over. If I could shift his left front leg over just a little bit, that would help, but I really don't want to mess up his gloss, so I am very hesitant to do that. And it's going to be a while until he comes out for a show, so I do have time to think about that. Okay, next up is a tiny guy. Let's see. We have Poliwag, the micro mini pony mold by Kylie Parks. I actually got a couple of micro mini resins this year, and I really like them. It also doesn't hurt that the price is normally pretty good, just because these guys are so small. And yeah, I do not know who painted him, unfortunately. Now, my final purchase was from Breyer's Premiere Club, and this is the one I'm a bit sad about. Although what I didn't know at the time I was writing this script is that I would have further things to be sad about, but we'll get there. Earlier this year, club members were allowed to choose between a matte or a glossy finish for this mold, and since I am generally team glossy, that is what I chose. So he came in the other day, and for the most part, he's one of those models that I definitely appreciate more now that I have him in hand. Here's his other side. However, much to my dismay, again, you are not going to be able to tell, but I promise you, there is a noticeable, in person, smudge in the gloss right on his top line, right kind of in the middle of his back. It's noticeable enough that I will not be able to live show him, though he should be fine for photo shows. But since live shows are my current preference, I'm bummed out that this happened. I have heard of people requesting fixes to their Premiere Club models, but I personally feel like that would be more trouble than it's worth, and I'm also not sure that they would fix something like this, versus a crack or something more significant. So, although I like him and I like this new mold, I am a bit sad about this particular copy that I got. And yeah, I got my copy of Enya with him, but she doesn't do anything for me. And I'm not sure if it's just me, but her head looks way too big for her body. And I'm just generally not really feeling this horse, so I may even try to sell her in the future. I didn't want to end this video on a down note, so as I mentioned previously, and because This is a relatively short video right now. Since we're here, I wanted to pick out my 5 favorite models that I purchased or otherwise got this year. These are in no particular order. First, we have maybe a little bit of a surprising choice, but we have Scammer. This guy was from an online estate auction, and he is honestly one of the nicest looking and just condition-wise Heartlands that I have come across. Granted, he is a little bit newer as far as Heartlands go, but he is still on the rare side. What I read in my Heartland reference book is that he is from 1990 and was a special run of just 256 pieces for Black Horse Ranch. I only have good things to say about this guy, and I cannot wait to show him. Number 2, Benelli. This was a model I wanted early on in my Brier journey last year. I think I saw him at my very first show and immediately was like, who is that? And I need him. I got him at the Region 10 swap meet last February. And I remember that my only real goal for that swap meet was to get a Benelli and then whatever else. So here he is. I just love this model. I think the Blue Roan looks fantastic with gloss, even though technically speaking, the matte version of him is more rare, but I really like the glossy one. This particular model is pretty flawless as far as I can tell, and he has done well for me the few times that I have showed him thus far. So, sad update. I had to take Benelli out of the basement to bring him out for this video, and literally as I was unwrapping him, I noticed that at some point between his last show and now, he has, in fact, gotten a chip in his paint and a smudge in his gloss. I am 98% certain that those were not there before. The sad part is, he was actually up on my shelf for quite a while, but I do change out my displayed horses every once in a while because I know it's not great for them to sit around in bubble wrap for a super long time. So I really do not know what happened or when, but sadly, he's not even live show quality anymore, and I don't know that what's wrong is something I can fix. So I am actually really sad about this, and it kind of ruined my whole Sunday night when I discovered this. So unfortunately, my goal for this upcoming February swap meet might just be to get another Benelli. Number 3, Del Fuego. Yes, it's a Spanish horse. Sue me. So Del Fuego has been interesting to me. He is from the Connoisseur series, which I'll have more to say about in my next video. But for what it's worth, he is a model from that series who tends to be reasonably priced when he comes up for sale. I put a down payment on him before Breyer Fest, and then paid the rest and picked him up in person. Again, this model is perfect as far as I can tell, and he is a connoisseur model, so he has really nice details. To my surprise, he did not do well at the one show that I have brought him to so far. In fact, I don't think he placed at all in collectability, and whereas my vignette did, which I think is kind of funny because I don't think the vignette is as nice a looking a model as this guy. And I think he also got a very low ribbon in breed. The placings went to 10th, and I swear he got like 10th or 9th place. I have confidence in him, so he is staying in my show string for sure. Number 4, the Family Arabian Foals. This was clearly the year of the Family Arabian Foal Conga as well as the Stormy Conga, neither of which I could have seen coming. The amount of variation between different copies of the same model can be so interesting. My Conga was kicked off in July when I purchased 5 of the Family Arabian Foals from Andrea Garden's estate at Breyer Fest, and since then I have acquired 7 other Family Arabian Foals. I think at this point I have almost all the colorways. I'm still missing a charcoal with the white mane and tail, but I think I have at least one of every other colorway on him. But yeah, he's just endlessly fascinating because wherever I pick up another one, whether it's an antique store or I got one from another room in the Clarion, it doesn't matter if I already have a Palomino or an Alabaster or an Appaloosa. It's going to be different from all of the other ones that I have on my shelf. So I don't see this Conga ending anytime soon, just because of the many, many, many variations, and I am just really endlessly thrilled that I get started with these guys. And number 5 is going to be Hippus. My goal for Breyer Fest, buying-wise, was to purchase my first Peter Stone and my first Artist Resin, and I ended up getting both of those things. I did a lot of research into who was going to be at the Artisans Gallery and what models they were going to have. When I saw the Hippus models on Desert Sun Studios page, I immediately put big stars next to their name, and I knew that this was going to be a contender for the resin that I was going to come home with. Now, I don't know if I will ever do more than dip my toe into resins. You know, as I said, I like the micro minis especially, because they can be pricey even when they are blank. You know, never mind if you have to send it out to have it painted. But yeah, I love this guy. The mold was originally also by Kitty Cantrell, and it's such a creative idea. I also love the stand that he comes on is textured with, you know, fake plants and grass there. Sorry, hopefully you can see it behind my fingers. There you go. He's already earned me one Region 10 championship card for workmanship, and I definitely plan to show him at Are You Kidding Me Live, so it'll be interesting to see how he does there. And so that's it. That is my final video for 2024. This really was a very interesting and kind of busy year in the hobby for me, and I have every intention of continuing onwards into 2025, doing just as much. As I've alluded to in past videos, I do have some pretty big ideas for projects that I would like to see come to fruition. I'm not at the point where I can share those ideas yet. In fact, for one of them, I kind of need to wait until I go back to work because I need to talk to somebody who works on a different campus of my school about some things, etc., etc. Yes, this does tie into model horses, I swear. My next video is going to be more about my plans for 2025 because there are some new things that I would like to try, and I figure why not spend a video talking about it here. So that's all for today. Have a happy new year, and I will see you next time.